Yeah, good for you to call anytime.
Does
Right.
the job.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hours of operation, 4 o'clock in the morning and Jake breaks. Doesn't go through a neighborhood.
Okay, well, we're gonna let them answer that.
Right.
Okay.
But
Right.
regarding the town plan, I don't know if you're aware of it, but we're in the process of finalizing the
Right.
revised town plan. Dawn's been involved since the very beginning, not to put you on the spot. But I believe that forestry is part of the town plan also. So, it's a big part of the town. It does bring in revenue, puts people to work. So, we don't want to.
Bring in town revenue.
It doesn't bring in town revenue, but it does bring in employment to the town.
No.
In either case,
There though.
not to get tied up with that. It is in the town plan, and you take a look at it because it's going to get finalized in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to actually address it at tomorrow night's select board meeting, and then
Planning commission tomorrow night.
yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, too many meetings.
It's on the agenda for tomorrow.
So, and then it's going to go to the select board in July and then be approved probably in the August board. So it's on the website.
Oh yeah, I've read it all.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. And we encourage comment that we have gotten along the way. So if you have comments, please make them in the next couple of months before the plan goes into effect, because then it doesn't get revised for another
10 years.
10 years. So,
Quite a while.
and then zoning will come up next. So just to give you a little history.
Make comments to who? Or where?
You could send them in to the planning commission. They're on the website. You can send it to their attention with comments. Bruce, you have a comment on it?
The draft has already been kind of consolidated at this point. So any comments actually just for now, and this is not a town plan, should be going to the select board because the select board will be dealing with it, and there will be a public hearing on the town plan before anything is finalized
Right.
by the select board.
Okay,
So I
great.
suggest comments either to the Loyal County Planning Commission, which we did for the
Right.
Planning Commission, or to the select board.
Okay, thank you, Bruce. Let's send them to the select board and we'll get it to the planning commission as necessary, so you don't have to get involved. So if you have any comments, please let us know. Michelle, do you have any comments? I mean, then,
As far as my hands are really tied by the state statutes.
right.
Could I just ask a quick question on the standard process for making improvements to a class 4? Like, what's the procedure in the bylaws or?
Well, I mean, they're building it to standards where they can hold literally 100,000-pound truck. I
Right.
mean, they're stone lining, they're doing. I mean, once they're done, I'm sure they'll blade it and it'll return back to nature and it'll be the nicest hiking path anybody's ever enjoyed. But they're not allowed to track out mud anymore. There's a bunch of.
I just mean like the process.
The process, when it's kept within the right of way itself, within that
Designated. right.
designated area.
Right.
They're allowed to do upgrades. I look at it, we're fortunate that the town of Elmore doesn't have to do the upgrades. Because they're spending some serious coin out there to be able to do this project. But it also alleviates some of the pressure off the town of Elmore, because when we have our municipal roads general permit, the class 4 roads are also mapped on that, and it shows high erosion areas and areas like where you guys are in now, where the town can be arm twisted into having to go fix those. I've been using the excuse, for the last, so this has been out since 16, the permit, that we have to get our roads up to standards before we get to the class 4. But these guys can't get away with it. If they're going to go in with that size operation, it's all part of the management plan.
Sure.
So, but it takes that pressure off, because they're fixing what potentially Elmore would have to go fix
Yeah.
down the road. So,
I only asked because when I heard about this, I started looking at I don't know if it was a zoning bylaw, but there seemed to be some issue that came up a number of years ago, and there was a process that class 4 improvements had to be submitted to the select board for review and approval.
That's,
I don't know if there was something more recent than that, but that appeared to be
that is the statute, but Michelle has been doing that for years.
ever
and
since
years
I've been
and
here,
years.
right?
So if you go to the state statute, it does talk about select board approval for improvements, but Michelle has been known as our road superintendent.
Right.
it was an Elmore thing.
If I could jump in, the town does have a road policy that the select board adopted in 2016,
Correct.
which you may have seen.
Quite a while
And,
ago.
Bob Burley.
He's not in.
Come in.
I don't see him.
Yes, you did. He's here.
Is Bob here?
Bob was one of the architects of that plan and did a wonderful job addressing those situations.
Okay.
So this woman in the back had her.
Yeah, she does, but just to answer a couple other questions that Dave had, as far as signage, we had a similar problem.
Right. So I've asked the timber company to put a sign, that says timber harvest ahead, or, I mean, if they don't do it, I can do it. Just to let people know that there is going to be some ingoing and outgoing traffic out of there.
What about speed signs? Is that something that?
Does the town also get to designate the speed on class 4 roads?
No, speed limit is 35 miles an hour, if anything, on there. Unless we just, we go through an entire process of designating your area, a special speed limit sign. I don't think you'll see any of those big trucks coming out there at 35 miles an hour.
And just to give you an idea.
That road is not to that
Yeah.
condition.
It took 3 years to get approval to put these speed limit signs out
Right.
here, the
Right.
flashing light.
So-
3 years.
Right, and this, from what I've seen so far, and I don't think it's going any further, it's a one-way truck lane going in and coming out. It's not like it's gonna be
No.
50 feet wide, because I've had other logging projects in town that have gone on class 4 roads. They found where the right of ways are. It's gone. They cut everything in that right of way. Just so, in their belief is it helps keep the road drier. But these guys, I mean, I can get my Tundra through there, but it's not a fancy road for Kenworth, trust me. But it is an improvement.
I used to be able to drive back there. Now I physically can't. I'm the last property on the class 4 road. The aggregate they're using is bigger than.
And we tried to drive back there.
Yeah.
I used to be able to drive all the way back there. So improvement is a pretty vague term that needs to be defined by.
Well, I'm sure they haven't finished yet. I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, so.
Well, we're gonna let them answer that question. I think the last thing that's unanswered is putting in a speed bump. Is that allowed on a class 4 road?
Unfortunately, it'll probably get removed or ripped out or destroyed. Yeah.
One of ours.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're up.
We live very close to the road, like probably the closest to anyone on that piece of Harwood Flats. Even before this, we would get people going way over 35 miles per hour. We've had folks tear up our grass. We have the caravan of 14 Jeeps. We have an elementary school kid. We have a dog outside. It's scary. And now I can only imagine how much traffic is going to go through here. Because Dave's not wrong. Like Honda CRV is going to be able to go mudding now. And so if you can upgrade without any sort of process, can I downgrade? Can I just take a shovel and like create my own? Can I just narrow it in parts where like a dirt bike or maybe an ATV, but we're not going to get every vehicle?
So we're gonna back up where these trucks are coming off Route 12. We're gonna start on the Castro Road. All this is going by my house also.
Yeah.
When some of you have been here longer than others. By my house, there's almost 1,000 cars a day that go by now. And I'll tell you what, if 35 was the speed limit, that would be nice. Right now, we're talking about the logging operation. These logging boys aren't gonna be going 35 miles an hour. The CRVs, the motorcycles, the Jeeps, hopefully it'll keep the Jeeps out of there. It's just, as far as what the upgrades are, when they get done, they can put water bars, they can put speed bumps, they can do whatever they want to the road once they're done.
Who's they?
The logging operation.
But when they're gone, can we do it?
You can do it once they're done,
Okay, cool.
but
Great. Like when they're done, if we can change the road, that's good news.
That's gonna be 3 years.
I understand, but that's something. That's like not.
that's all we can offer you right now.
I do want to run the process thing to ground if we can, because I'm getting a sense that a lot of the concern is that there was no notice ahead of time that this was going to happen. And maybe the policy that was from 2016 that Mr. Burley helped put together has been supplanted by state statute. I don't know yet. But it seems to me that if it had been submitted to the select board, I'm not sure how the select board would evaluate the work, but at the very least, there would have been some public visibility of the work. And an opportunity for engagement at some level. And I don't necessarily think it's for this reason, but I think it's good to give it some visibility. I don't know how to find out if this still applies from 2016. It's 10 years old. But
Trevor, Sonny did. I mean, he came and talked to me about it, which he hasn't done in the past too. And that was no surprise. The surprise was the 3,000 acres further down the road. That's what really surprised all of us. Nobody had a clue of that.
Sunny.
I'd like to introduce Mr. Carbonetti, my forester, who has done our work for 40 years.
We're both getting older.
Yes.
Not Sunny.
No.
No, that's true. So, if you do
Would you
your
mind?
presentation, please.
By all means,
I'd like to get up front, so I'm not.
come on up front,
Come on up.
front
So,
center.
this is just a little history for the record, and I'll go
Okay.
over through that. So,
In the middle.
So I've been working for Sunny since the early 80s, and I'm not sure everybody's aware of this, but we have done harvesting since 1987 on Sunny's property. We've had now our 7th timber sale on the property. How many folks recreate on Sunny's property? You're gonna have a show of hands, just want to see. Okay. Many of the places you recreate on are logging trails that we've used over the years and then put to bed properly. So I just think that it's a little ironic that suddenly logging is a problem in this situation. But here's really the important background. Sunny's property has a conservation easement on it. The 3,000 acres has a conservation easement on it. So we have to follow very strict environmental rules, both state and from the easement. So there's no craziness going on here. We're following, and on top of that, our company and our other forester here, Dylan, who's doing the on-the-ground work, we are FSC. Does everyone know what FSC is? Forest Stewardship Council and SFI, third-party certified. So we meet 10 principles and 200 criteria of sustainability. So the roads are included in that. And part of the reason we're doing the road work is to prevent environmental damage.
And it looks great.
This is very, very important. Okay. And I think that
understanding, I get your concerns about truck traffic, but our guys are incredibly responsible. As the road foreman has said, we went to him first, made sure we, we didn't just run off and do this. We said, first thing I said was, Dylan, talk to the town before we start anything. And that's what we did. We got the okay to move forward. Every step we're taking is done by the state rules for acceptable management practices, all of that. So the work being done is to regulatory spec. Now, whether you like log trucks going in front of your house is another story. There's nothing I can do about that. We have two clients, Sonny and Dan on their property, and the family that we manage the 3,000 acres as well, are going to be doing sustainable timber harvesting. Now, all that 3,000 acres is not coming out through the north. We have 5 or 6 other entries to the property. We've rebuilt a big stretch of the Eagle Ledge Road coming in from Worcester, and we're going to be opening up other access points off of Route 12 and elsewhere. But it's periodic. We'll go in and it'll sit for 10 or 15 years without any activity. That's, if you look at the history on Sonny's property, that's what we've done. So, the other part of this is those class 4 roads, and the point you were making is very critical. The town is technically responsible for bridges and culverts going back to what the conditions were in 1972.
Yeah.
So if you could have driven a Cadillac from Sonny's place to Route 12, technically that road should still be in that same condition. It isn't. And the big problem is Jeeps and ATVs and all that. We can't control that. It's a town right away.
Right.
Okay. So what we're trying to do is build a road that isn't going to suffer damage and lead to water erosion, siltation in the brooks. We walked the entire town road all the way through to Worcester the other day. How many of you have walked the lower end of that? Yeah. Do you know the condition it's in? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Home.
We don't want the northern part of the road to turn into that. And that's why we're doing this upgrade. And we're going to be upgrading back in all the way down into the 3,000 acres. We're meeting with the easement holders tomorrow, along with AMP Forester for the state. So we're checking all the boxes, every single one. So, from a standpoint of expectation, we are meeting every bit of law and regulatory compliance. And the other part of it is we have a freedom to forest in Vermont. There's no law that prevents you from cutting timber in Vermont. We do it really well. Sonny has given up lots of money over the years to take care of his land. And I know there was one comment about money for 2 people, and that was, I found, very distasteful, considering what Sonny and his family has provided for the community over all these years. I see the cars parked in his yard in the wintertime, using his land. And so, this whole thing, I just find it's kind of interesting. And I've dealt with this. This is almost my 50th year in consulting. And I get this. This is not the first time I've been to a meeting like this where people are upset about a neighbor cutting wood or fixing a road. But the reality is that we need to build a road that'll hold up to state trucking requirements without damaging it. And actually, that's going to be better for you folks than if we just tried to go in there with a road that didn't handle the trucks. That would be a much worse situation, because then the road would be totally destroyed. And I don't think you'd be very happy with us.
No.
And we're trying to avoid that. And, one of the issues with working down in this area, there's not a lot of gravel close by. And that's why we're using that bigger material, because we've got to haul that. And we've been hammering rock, and we're going to be doing more of that. And that's the way to make the road sit and be in place. So I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes, ma'am.
To clarify, were you saying that now, will our road be attached to Eagles Ledge Road through that 3?
No. We just said that we've rebuilt a stretch of that to access. I was just talking about, we have multiple access points. So it's not going to be 3 constant years of logging coming up through the neighborhood. That was a misstatement on that gentleman's part of what we're actually doing. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a question. Is your company the company that logged the southern end of Farwood Flats Road?
Southern, oh, no. You're talking about that.
That's a mess.
That was not us. No. In fact, when we walked that the other day, we were quite surprised at how it was left.
Yeah, I've been on my bike numerous times down through there, and I've ridden it years and years ago. It was a beautiful road.
Yeah.
The last time I rode it 4 years ago, it was absolutely trashed. a lot of,
Yeah, they skidded down the road. It's an absolute mess. We were talking about it when we were on the site. Absolutely. We don't operate that way.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Is there an ability, it's really not about the logging, it's about like the transparency and communication. Is there a way to know when these access roads are gonna be happening, where they're gonna be happening and all that good stuff?
We're going to be working all the way down through there this summer.
Website, is there like, we're right here now, like, can I find out that information? Do you have a
No, we
map
don't,
of
we
what's
do
going
not put it on the website. And a lot of this is confidentiality with our tenants.
That's great.
You know, we have to be careful about what we provide, because it's a
I think
competitive
that's
industry.
where the root of the problem's coming. is
Well,
transparency.
what we are required to do is let the town know.
I know you're doing everything you're required to do, but we're talking about.
Well, is it
Still,
possible
okay.
for you to give us an update? I mean, we meet every month.
Yeah, we can give you an update. That's no
We
problem.
provide minutes. The meeting is taped if you're not available. If you can give us an update that we could present
Sure.
it each month,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yeah,
Because,
that's no problem.
you know, to be honest
Happy
with
to
you,
do
the
it.
first time I heard of this problem was when Dave, sent us an email.
Right,
I forwarded it to everybody, and then the next day, we saw you out there, I think.
right. We tried
Sharon and
that.
I tried to get out there and we couldn't
Right.
make it.
We've got
We
part
made it
way.
as far as that big gravel.
Yeah, just part way.
And couldn't make it beyond that. But Michelle's been out there several times, and like I said, in the past, he's just handled it. So we haven't had the need to get involved, but seeing everybody here today, you know, we need to get involved and we need to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. I don't know if everybody's familiar with the project we did across the street here, the beauty spot, and we tried to put a pond in there, and apparently there was a lack of communication. That thing probably drew more people than this. So, you know, we understand the need for communication and we try to get it out there, but sometimes we don't even know.
Right.
Like in that case, we had no idea who owned that property. We thought the town owned it. And then it blew up. So, yeah, so knowing what we know now, if we can get an update once a month, you're more than welcome to come to the meetings. If not, you can check the minutes.
Yeah, we got no problem. I met the guys out there.
Yeah, and we can get an update once a month of what's going on, and you know, you can edit it as you need to edit it, but you know,
We're happy
provide
to
as
do that.
much information as possible. And we can even post that on our website, the town website. We could put a section there, you know, update for clearing,
That'd be great.
Harwood Flats. So
I'd still like to, maybe if we can assign Charlie to clarify this 2016 policy, if it still applies. or
I
not.
haven't found any subsequent,
Because it says all maintenance, repair, improvement, restoration, plowing, other activities other than the town shall occur only after written approval by the select board.
You know, we have a lot of towns we deal with this, and most select boards assign that responsibility
That's right.
to their road foreman.
You can
which
deputize
is
them.
essentially
Yeah,
what we've
that's
done.
right.
If need be, we can approve it. We really have no option. I mean, if you
I don't
read
know-
it, they
I don't know
have,
how we would not
so
approve
the
it, but
select board cannot disapprove it.
Right.
But, you know, we need to be
Yeah.
informed also.
Yeah.
So, like I said, not blaming Michelle for anything, because he's done this for many, many, many years.
And
And
the policy was written in 16, I'm sure Bob will, Bob and I wrote that together. That was because of Eagle Edge Road.
yeah,
Right.
They had a nice article published in the National 4x4 magazine saying it was the best mudding trail
Oh my.
in the nation. We didn't make just in the state, in the nation. We had people from California. We had people from all over the lower 48 out there mudding. You know, the good thing, hopefully this road's gonna be built hard enough where, yeah, I realize you might be able to get out there with your little CRV, but at least it won't be a mud box where it attracts people from all over the country.
We could leave just enough boulders so you can't get out there with your cars if you like.
well,
That'd be amazing, yes.
Unfortunately, you can't block
And
the
then
right
when
of way.
somebody tears out their oil pan, I'll get a
yeah,
phone call.
well, like I said, the access needs to be maintained, which is
Yes.
problems we have in other places in the town where
Yeah.
these ATVs are just tearing up the roads, the mud's
Right.
getting into their streams, it's just a mess.
Right.
And it's really, our hands are kind of tied as far as what we could do. So I think this gentleman here is willing to work with us.
We'll give you a report on a regular basis, and you know, if you want to come out and see what we're doing, we can certainly arrange that. We'll be fine to do it. You know, we're proud of what we do. Our clients are proud of what they do. And, like I said, I've worked with Sonny for an awful long time and, been one of my favorite long-term clients because he's got a great land ethic. And now we're working with his son Dan as well. And that's, and the family that bought the 3,000 acres, similar objectives. They have, they're very concerned about sustainability, climate change, resilience. It's a great family. They have a long-term perspective. They bought property all over the US. Really good folks. Yes, sir.
Depending, this is for both of you, maybe depending on the amount of truck traffic you expect, like heavy trucks. Is there any plan to do any more work to hardwood flats, the rest of the road to keep up with it? Or are you not expecting that many logging trucks out that road?
Well, we're gonna do some work on the we always call Cataract Hill, as the hill as you pull that up. We're going to be doing some ditch work and some culvert work, and we're going to do some resurfacing here later this summer. And yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they'll be out of there during mud season.
Yep.
I do too.
Most of the road, most of the big logging operations, the heavy ones, are during the winter months when things are frozen. To do some damage to the roads, there's a potential.
Oh yeah, no, there's gonna.
And we'll work with the town, if something pops up.
I'm just asking, I'm saying it because we're all standing here, like, is there a plan to take a little more care of harbor flats if there's gonna be heavy truck traffic?
I'm sure if it needs a little more extra attention, it'll be given it.
And the other question I have is about, I make a lot of noise for a living and my business is in the treatment as well, but time of day, like there were Jake brakes rolling in with the gravel.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. These boys are working on incredibly tight margins, and on a good day, they'll be there at first light and they may be there till dark.
Yeah.
That's, they've got to make hay when the sun shines.
I'm asking about noise on the road. I'm not asking about them cutting that.
Well, but I mean, the trucks are going to be coming in as well because they've got to get the wood moved as it's cut.
Yeah.
So they'll be starting and coming, in the wintertime, we sometimes truck all night, and we just have to. The guys have just been out of business for 6 weeks. How many of you could not have any income for 6 weeks, So yeah, you know what I'm saying.
No, I'm asking about noise. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, again, they'll, they're going to do what they need to do to move the wood.
So it's a year-round operation?
No, like I just said, they've been shut down since the end of winter. Now we're getting going again because the weather is good and we take days off when it rains. We've got standards that they have to adhere to from that standpoint. And they'll be there for, a good part of the summer between Sonny's lot and the lot below it. We're going to be doing work on both properties.
It's also worth mentioning that for the graveling, that was excessive traffic when we, were resurfacing the road, that's been way more than what it will typically be during an active project. During an active project, if we're talking about solely the hauling of the wood, 3 to 4 loads a day, in and out, probably max. It tops 5, along with the trucks the guys are using to come in and out. The gravel trucks, that was a lot for sure.
How much longer is that gonna be happening?
The gravel.
Yeah, those things are fast.
Yeah.
Those kids waiting for the bus, it's scary in the morning.
We'll
I
talk.
watch those kids stand out there with those trucks whipping by and I'm just like, is there any sort of timeline for?
It's part of that's going to depend on, so we're meeting tomorrow with the state and the easement holders about sections of the road that are further south. If all goes well, we won't need that much gravel. We're planning on using, material on site.
Yeah, what we're doing is, and we've been doing more and more of this, we use a big hammer or even blast, take a ledge out of the road and put that back in so we can get water off, get a surface instead of hauling gravel. We don't want to haul gravel. I can tell you, it's gotten incredibly expensive to haul gravel because of price of trucks and material. And so we're trying to use more on-site material that way. So I don't know if you've been down there. We have an excavator with a big hammer on it that we've been utilizing. And that's all designed it's not designed to limit trucks. It's designed
And
We lost internet.
Yeah, well,
you know, hopefully,
Solution.
I feel confident in this gentleman that he'll try and do the right thing by all of you. I really do.
Our company
In the
manages.
past, it's, everything that's been done on your land has been great, Sonny. They've done a great job in there all the time.
Okay, unfortunately, we have a long agenda here
Yeah.
and we've taken up 45 minutes. Again, we appreciate everybody coming here. We know it's important to you and we'll try to keep the lines of communication
Absolutely.
open. And that works both ways. So if you have a problem, you need to let us know.
Right.
And then we can try to address it the best that we can.
Thank you.
And thank you for your interest. And like I said, if you have questions, they're gonna post my phone and email. And I will try to be as responsive as possible. And my most important task is keeping Mr. DeMars happy, and I've been doing that for 40 years, so hopefully I can keep that up.
Right.
Doing well, thanks. For
Okay, thank you, everybody.
No problem.
Okay, if you want to suffer through the rest of this, you're more than welcome to.
Hang tight. So we're back on. That's fine. Yeah. Happened. I don't know. Glitch. Glitch.
Okay. We're gonna start the regular agenda now and we'll work our way through it, hopefully quicker than the first item.
Right.
The first item I have on here is possibly rescheduling the July meeting to July 15th. What we want to try to accomplish at the July meeting is it's the end of our fiscal year. Everybody should be aware of it, is
Right.
June 30th.
Yeah.
And to give Sharon some time to put all the numbers together, to meet in July and go over the fiscal year dollars. I think that's best to do that. Plus, it's the week of July 4th. People are probably going to have some family issues. I know I do, but it's a busy week. So if it's okay with everybody, we'll reschedule, just pushing it 1 week to July 15th. And that'll give Sharon plenty of time to get the numbers together, so that we can discuss it. We'll try to get that out in advance so you can take a look at it. But that'll be the final numbers for the fiscal year so we can compare it to the original budget.
It will be.
Okay, everybody clear on that? Everybody's okay? No problems?
Right.
Okay, then the next meeting will be the 15th of July. We'll post it.
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. It's just 1 week.
It's just 1 week.
Just gets it away from the 4th of July and
Yeah.
also gives,
And the very first Wednesday is the first, which
right.
really makes sense to push it ahead a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a nice, easy one. Okay, this one is Trevor thing, scheduling a possible listening session, although we did a lot of listening tonight.
That's a good one.
Regarding town concerns, and, I guess Trevor mentioned that, maybe we set up a meeting just to have the general public come in, but I'll let Trevor go with it.
Yeah, just for topics like this that might come up. I know that this meeting that's recorded in front of everybody may not be the most comfortable for people to bring up concerns. I've talked to a number of people that just aren't comfortable talking in this format, in this setting. And I know Wolcott has their barbecue. I can't remember when they have it. But that was the select board.
Right, that should be coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, that was the select board trying to engage with people outside of a formal meeting.
Formal meeting, yeah.
So I don't have any specific suggestions, and it may be worth talking to VLCT to see if we can have a event where we're not meeting and discussing business, but we can engage with people without it being a quorum where we have to.
Right.
So like a fireside chat in a way.
Sure.
Right.
I mean.
No decisions being made, just kind
Right,
of.
Just
it would be us talking to each other. It would be us talking to
Right.
people in the.
So
community.
input, just listening and getting input and reactions
Yeah.
and, yeah.
What about people submitting by emails, being able to write things out and submit prior to a meeting?
We can, absolutely,
Yeah.
So
we encourage that.
if you're not social, I mean, there's an easy way to put your thoughts down and
Right.
submit it.
Well, that's exactly what happened with this situation we just went through. Dave
Right.
sent the select board an email
Right.
and then we got involved
Right.
because,
Right.
normal practices, Michelle handles it and we're not involved.
Right.
So yeah, if anybody has an issue, they want to be on the agenda, by all means. I mean, that's what we're here
Or
for.
mail them if they're not a community person.
Right.
Right.
So what I may do is just double check with VLCT and then maybe start looking at some dates and see if we can, at the next meeting, pin something down that'll work, a format and a date.
Get Warren. All right, Warren.
I just, we have this ability in the near future to improve the town plan. Is there any point or is there any value to maybe having this listening session before you approve the town plan?
Well, it's not gonna be until August, so we can certainly make that happen.
I just want to say, there's a public hearing before the select.
Right.
Can approve the town plan.
Right.
So people's voices can be heard.
Right.
But we just heard, all due respect, I always had the floor, we just heard that people are uncomfortable coming to these meetings to voice their concerns. So maybe if there's a listening section around any issues,
Yeah, it's all issues.
which include issues that may be in the town plan that people aren't aware of, they can provide their input
Yep.
before you all approve the town plan.
I mean, we did. I mean, the number one issue I hear about, taxes.
Right.
That's the number one issue.
There's a big debate there. Right, growth or no growth, and is taxes.
Well, just taxes
Go
in
up.
general. I mean, we're all paying high taxes, so,
We
yeah.
need to Solve those, we need to
Right.
come up with answers to those questions.
But it would be an open session and get input from everybody else, Joe.
Question, are you talking about this type of a forum, just informal? Or are you talking about more of a social event where you can mingle? If you're gonna say, well, we're gonna have a listening session in the town hall, I think the people who are uncomfortable coming here are gonna be just as uncomfortable going back.
Yeah, maybe we have some hot dogs and.
Yeah, I think more of it. We'll bring it back up the old town, the new town garage.
Yep, in the garage. Yeah, we had the hot dogs there. We grill some burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an open house kind of thing.
We really do want to avoid having a thing,
Yeah,
where we're
public
discussing
meeting.
business where we have to warn it and have it.
But I don't even
posted.
mean that. I just mean, even if it's not discussing business, even if it's just
Oh,
a
yeah.
listening session, if it's all in one room and one
Yeah,
person
yeah,
talking
agreed.
to everybody at what time, the
Yeah.
people who won't come here won't go
Yeah.
there either.
I
Right.
think Michelle's got a good idea. We got plenty of room up at the garage.
Yeah.
Bring a big barbecue thing the fire department has.
All right, well,
And
Break
make
it in.
sure some burgers and hot dogs. So
Oh, it's
it's just a
social.
thought, and I thought it was a good idea, so we put it on the agenda for tonight, just to get it going.
If you did shots of whiskey, everybody spent time.
Right.
That is one in every crowd. I don't think people have a problem complaining. That's
No.
that's one thing we all do well. Okay, moving along, unless anybody else has any comments on that. I think it's a great idea and we'll try to make it happen. Bruce has some updates on the Elmer 5K. Bruce Olson,
So, yeah, there was some talk maybe not having it this year. Michelle Gerson and I had to do most of the work putting the 5K together. And they would skip this year, but we decided to go ahead. I'll be taking over probably some of her tasks as well. Yeah, it'll be on Saturday, September 5th, which is the same weekend as the Labor. Of July. Usually we do it right after the 4th of July. Any questions? Yes, are you running this year?
Yeah.
Good.
So as you know, I participated in a couple of years. It's a great event, right? And I think you get great turnout. I guess I wonder if it can be coordinated with other events, because what happens at the run, correct me if I'm wrong, people run and then they go home. And we have all these people in town and they just go home. And if it be and they don't stick around. I've seen them.
unless they go over to the bike race,
Some do the.
Right, well, I get it, but
which that's insane, but.
What's going on in town to keep them in town,
Right.
like the department's chicken roast or the pie event or something else to keep citizens in town after that race, because it's a great race and we get families out and it's great. It all of a sudden just ends and then boom, people disperse from town, and I just future thought,
Well,
how to coordinate.
when we talk about the notes in terms of what the day is going to be like, we certainly reference the activities of the community trust, which the gravel grinder, there's a couple of insane people that do both events.
That's for you this year.
Right. And then, there's the block party. We mentioned about the store, we mentioned that. We talked about the fireworks.
No, I know you
We
live,
asked them to
yeah,
do that.
you live here, so I mean, I'm here, but in this community, closer to the neighborhood. So you can go home, shower and get to the block party, but there's a lot of folks that may race. And I just don't know, do you coordinate the race a little later in the day so they can come right to the Elmore store, so you have more people participate? Just food for thought in the future.
Well, it sounds like Warren's volunteering
I
to
just,
come up with ideas.
just trying to get the community together.
Yeah, so
Okay.
one of the challenges though, in terms of the race and the timing of the day, we try to do it early when it's cooler.
Yeah.
Because not everybody runners, so we have
Right.
a lot of walkers, and some people are in best of shape, and so we try to accommodate that. Then we don't have any say about when the gravel grinder is, but they like to do it. I don't know, maybe Trevor can talk to us.
I'm not sure why we picked the time. I think the other sort of piece of it is it's a long day for the people running the events.
That's right.
And we've talked about trying to do it and stretch it through the whole day and have music and activities going.
Right.
And it's a lot.
Right.
We've come close to doing it.
It's a
It's a
lot.
lot to manage. We get pretty burned out.
In fact, you don't realize how many people it takes to do that 5K
But
race.
What I think we could do a better job of is advertising what's going on when and making that clear to everybody in one forum. We don't always do a great job, and I think we can do a little bit better about that.
The other thing, I don't have a clear plan of this, but some towns have activation committees which plan events like races or whatever, and so maybe the town needs to look at doing something like that and gathering some new people to be involved in putting on these events as well.
Sounds like Warren's volunteering.
Right?
Did you just volunteer?
I would have volunteered for a couple of things.
Okay.
See how the night goes.
All right, well, Bruce, thank you. I think, just to let everybody know, it is self-funding. So there's no tax dollars or anything involved, and they're building a little bit of a nest egg in there, but
We do, and it talked about the possibility that, that the money that we raise from the 5K might be used for other recreational activities, like if the town ever decides to put like a playground someplace, help pay for the equipment for that. So that's in the future, but that's some of the thinking.
but it is self-funding. It does make a little bit of a profit, not much.
It's going to profit every year.
Yeah, a little bit. So, and the feedback is tremendous. I mean, everybody that does it loves it. The kids love it. We have a little kid race in the beginning. They get ice cream cones for the store. It's just, it's a fun day.
That's my race.
I know you won last year. You're pushing all the kids out of the way.
I can do 100 yards. I can do it.
Okay, so that should take care of that. Dawn, we have a quick cemetery commission update.
Very quick, and since everybody's getting up and facing forward, just do a quick update for the Elmore Cemetery Commission, which takes care, the Cemetery Commission is responsible for taking care of two cemeteries in town, the one on Lakeview on Route 12, which is still active, and the one on Elmore Mountain Road, which is not active. And after 41 years of taking excellent care of our cemeteries, I'm sad to say that Keith Cochran is no longer able to take care of our cemeteries this year. So Keith has retired, and it was a labor of love by Keith. So the Cemetery Commission has had to put out a bid for mowing and taking care of the cemeteries. We received 2 bids. We accepted one. It's a 1-year contract, and it is, I'm just getting the name of his company, Ridgewood Maintenance. Is going to be mowing our cemeteries this year. Yeah, it's Palmer.
Yeah.
So we're happy about that. And then we're also working to transition some of the things that Keith did. He was responsible for marking out the plots when people bought plots. And so we're still working on some transitional things. And then finally, the commission should be a commission of 5 people, and we only have 4 right now. It's myself and Kathy Miller, Susan Stephenson, and Mike McCarthy. So if anybody wants to join us, we need another member, can let one of us know, or Sandra. Or if you know of anybody that might like
And
to.
when do you meet?
Well, we're required to meet 4 times a year, by our bylaws, but we have been meeting more than that because of the need of trying to find someone to mow. And so it's at least 4, maybe 6, 7, 8 times a year. Okay, thank you.
That reminds me of something, Bruce, if you want to jump back, just say something about planning commission needing volunteers also. I don't know if you or Dawn or.
Well, we have 2 vacancies on the planning commission, so I
Right.
believe the planning commission, when it meets tomorrow, will be discussing that issue.
Okay. So anybody that's interested should go to the planning commission meeting tomorrow, is that?
So what time is it, Bruce?
It's at 5:30.
Here. Yeah. So the process, just so people know, is that you would be discussing potential people who would be interested, and then there would be a vetting process. Is that correct?
Well, I think, I'm no longer a member of the planning commission.
Right.
Michelle has her hand up.
Yeah, we'll get her as soon as. Bruce is
Okay.
done.
Yeah, she'll talk.
Go to Michelle.
Okay,
Okay.
could you just,
Can you
Let her
click
in.
on Michelle?
Can you guys hear me?
we can now.
Now, yeah.
Great. So per the agenda tomorrow, we're going to be discussing the process and promoting recruits. We don't have any names or anything yet, so we just
Right.
have to kind of follow the rules. And we're going to be discussing the process tomorrow and getting more people.
Okay,
Any-
and obviously
any
it's an open
questions?
meeting. It's an open meeting, so anybody can attend and,
Can we put something on the website for both positions, just recruiting people?
yeah, we could.
Great idea.
Yep. So Michelle, if anybody wants to come to tomorrow's meeting and they want to be a part of the commission, I guess they can ask questions.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
And it will probably be the next meeting that will review who's applied.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Any questions on that? Everybody's good? All right. Hopefully some of you decide to join and fill our boards up. Hard finding volunteers. Okay, that gets us down to active items. We're going to just review my quick little chart here. We did make some progress this month. Michelle did install the speed signs. Thank you. Hey, and the tree has been removed at Greaves Hill. Yay.
Yay.
Good job, Michelle. We're still waiting on the estimate for the ramp and the stair replacement across the way.
We got another estimate, so we've got 3 now.
Oh, good.
I think we have to hold them a little bit more to make sure they're actually still interested. So
Okay.
range of like 2,000 to 12,000. So
For the
we have to-
ramp.
Okay, so we have 3 estimates.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're currently reviewing?
Yep.
Great. Progress all around. Town appropriations. Nancy, you have anything on that?
For July.
Okay, that's fine.
Go to the floor for information or do this?
Yeah, just, that's what you normally do, be great. So we could discuss it. Another completed item, the SOPs have been posted to our website. Thank you, Trevor. So that's done. That'll come off the list. And, the emergency plan still being worked on. You have any update on that?
It's 95% done. I just did a couple more cell phone numbers from you guys.
Okay.
We're a month past our deadline, but it's been several years since it's been updated. So
Right.
it's a big
Yeah, I think it was the end of May, right?
Okay, again, more progress. It's good. I talked to Michelle about this. I don't know if you had a chance, but once we get into July, we can put the demo of the existing garage out for bid.
Yeah,
And
yeah, putting all my information together from what I've got, what Charlie sent me. So the RFP should be coming together here in the next week or two and definitely be on the table here when we have our July meeting.
great.
We'll get that going.
All right. And Charlie, the last thing we have on our list is the restoration of the land by the firehouse.
As you know, I've been trying to squeeze some money out of the
Right.
Lamoille County Conservation District.
Right.
They promised some great things, and I learned this morning that some of the funding opportunities aren't a good fit for our project. And so they are continuing to try to find some other sources of grants. What probably won't happen is we won't have any funds for the initial phase of regrading and seeding and mulching. But what they're trying to do is get the money for the planting of trees and
Right.
shrubs and so on.
Well, I think we put money in our budget to do the grading
Yeah, we'll just.
and the backfilling. So we have that covered. So, and, so, yeah,
Just, you know how they work and it just
Right.
takes a little longer.
well, we appreciate the effort you're putting into it and, hopefully we do get some funding. Nancy?
And they do have a zoning permit to do the work.
Okay.
The rest of culverts that are kind of piled over on the side, are they?
Everything's gonna disappear.
It's
It's
all
still a
gonna be
work in
cleaned
progress. But there's it's gonna look totally different here shortly. It's gonna actually be a really nice green piece. I mean, it's unfortunately probably somebody will drive out across there and tear it all up, but yeah, there's still some stockpiles over there that I still gotta move. Like you said, there's still some scrap metal needs to be cleaned up. We'll probably hand mow some of that knotweed back and the brush back. So, I realize an excavator can rip that out and bury it or do whatever it needs to do in a hurry, probably a lot faster than I can. The well for the fire department needs to be marked out. Yeah, there's a lot of little things that add up that take time. And
So will that all happen prior to the person coming in to do the demolition?
I'm in hopes because I want that all to be in the same RFP.
Yeah, okay.
And so I still got my crap to get out of there. But whoever's demoing the building, unless they sub it out or whatever, is going to do. To me, I want them to do the site work
All of
also.
it.
Oh, okay, with the
Yeah.
soil that's there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That way we're not having multiple contractors all going.
No,
Right.
unless we
Right.
self-perform.
Get somebody in there, tear it down, clean it up.
It's gonna be really nice when it's done.
We'll knock it down. They'll put a fabric over it.
Tough to kill.
It's about all you can do to it.
It's resilient.
Just keep mowing it.
Like reusing the soil on the property is gonna be nowhere near.
Right.
knotweed.
Well, we're gonna end up burying the knotweed, and hopefully then we're gonna have it mowed. It'll be mowed weekly, so when the grass does grow, so hopefully the knotweed will dissipate after time.
But that pile of soil that's there, that came from the new garage.
Right.
So that's clean. That doesn't have anything in it.
Part of the planting plan is to come up with some trees and shrubs that will overstory the knotweed and eventually not sensitive about getting the knotweed in, not getting it into the lake. So there's some concerns along the way.
Okay. Yeah, if there's no other questions on the action list, I think that's working out pretty well. Keep track of things
Yeah.
and making
does.
progress is good. Okay, Randy's turn. We have the advisory board, made a final report.
Yeah.
And we're gonna let Randy, who's done a great job, tell us about it.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. The way these are stapled is a little weird. Take the last sheet and rip it off. That's the actual report. And then I'm going to refer to the capital plan as we go through this. So the very last page on your document looks like this. It's a one pager. So in the fourth quarter of last year, the select board, that one, just rip it off and we'll
All right.
refer to.
Yeah.
The fourth quarter of last year, the select board said we need to look at our capital from an Elmore perspective, both from a road improvement standpoint and fire department, and understand where we're at, what we have, the age of it, and to see what we needed to do to replace it to keep it operational and ultimately come up with an escrow account to make that happen. So what I'm pleased to announce is for the last 3 months on a regular basis, we've been working on that. I'm going to introduce the team here in a minute. And tonight we'll give you kind of a final report that'll go into the budget planning for this coming fiscal year, which starts July 1, if I have that correct. Okay.
Well, this is actually for the following budget.
Following budget, right?
Yeah, we're already set for
Current.
26, 27 is set. So this would be 27, 28.
There you go. Okay.
It's confusing, but
Yeah. Okay, so if you'll look at the first page in the attachment, there's 8 pages here to the report. I want to introduce the team members. Many are here tonight. Stephen is here. Glenn. Michelle. I heard Shorty. There's Shorty. I thought I saw Bob come in.
He didn't say he was here. I never saw him.
I saw his truck come anyway. There's also Mark Cody, Brian Evans Mungin.
Yeah.
And Bob Burley. Oh, and Adam Audette, the fire chief. That made up the team, and we've been meeting for the last 3 months to come up with this review. If you turn to the next page on the plan, I'm going to look at pages 2 and 3. And so the first thing we had to do was to look at the road crew and look at the fire department and look at our assets and understand what the capital value of our assets were, what age of our assets were, the usage, the maintenance costs, the hours of usage. So if you look at page 2, you can see that we have the top section is for the road crew. I'm just going to go over this at a highlight. I'm happy to go in any detail you want to. We have about 1.75 million in assets from the road crew standpoint. If you look at the fire department, we've got about 1.8 million. And that includes all the equipment that's here. You can see the age of it, and you see the life that we're going to replace it at. One thing that's critical as we went through this, we're going to show you a 25-year plan, is we assumed inflation. 2.5% inflation, it's real from that standpoint. So if you take the 1.75 million in capital equipment today for the road crew, replace it over 25 years, you're going to spend just over $2 million. The fire department's at 1.8. We're going to spend just about 2.4 million replacing fire department over the next 25 years. That gives you a baseline. If you go to the next page, page 2, page 3, sorry, page 3, each piece of equipment is listed, the year that's acquired, the total hours that's used, the annual hours, the weeks, the mileage, and really importantly is the maintenance cost. So you can feel good that the teams take care of the maintenance costs, understand the maintenance costs. We went back for about 20 years and got actual details. We averaged them all out, and this is what the average cost is from a maintenance standpoint. That's really important when you're looking at capital because it gives you an idea of what the break point is between replacing the machine and maintaining the machine. And we've got some now that are end of life at that point. So everything we did was based on data and data that we had available. If you go to the next page, the next 2 pages have the actual schedule that we're going to look at for this equipment. Page number 4. This is double-sided. It's kind of hard to do.
4 and 5.
4 and 5. Page 4. The first is the road equipment. The first thing we came up with, we realized that this equipment, we thought it was we're going to do a 10-year plan. Well, a grader lasts 40 years. Backhoe lasts 35 years. Dump trucks, we started out with a view that they'd last 10 years. We now have a view that they're 15 years. So we came up immediately with what would be required for a 25-year plan. That's what you have here. So each piece of equipment is noted when its assumed replacement date is at the investment at the inflation rate. And so if I look at page 4, you can break the code on this. If you look at what it costs to replace the equipment and look all the way down to the bottom right-hand corner, we would need annually to put aside from a escrow perspective, $80,324 for the next 25 years, such that when the back row comes up due, we have the money set aside. When the dump trucks come up due, we have the money set aside. So you get the idea, right? So what this does is simply adds the escrow every year and subtracts the amount that we would spend on the equipment to come up with what the escrow amount should be. Let me go to the next page and I'll entertain whatever question. Let me just go to the next page just to get the fire department out of the way. So the fire department's the same way. The fire department, we have 2 engines, we have 2 rescue or 2 trucks, a rescue and a, what do you call it? The one that hauls, is it 2 rescues? You call it 2 rescue trucks?
Yeah.
Okay, 2. So each one of those is listed here, the same concept. If we look over the next 25 years, if we replace those 2 engines, the annual amount that we need to set aside such that when the fire trucks came due to be replaced based on the ages of the vehicles and the maintenance cost on an annual basis is $95,821. So those are the 2 numbers that we'd have to set aside with the equipment that we have today, both road equipment and fire equipment, to set aside such that when the equipment it needs to be replaced, money is sitting there and we're not going to the bank and paying the bank, interest rate and getting that. So before I go to the next page, any questions on, we know what equipment we have, we know its cost, we know how much it's used, and we have a 25-year plan that suggests an escrow amount to keep the equipment current. Any questions?
Your 2.5% inflation rate, that might be conservative. Well, it may be somewhere in there. Was there any thought given to increasing that just a hair? And also looking at your annual totals, you've got 80,000 a year to go into an escrow. Any thought of increasing that maybe 4 or 5%? But just giving a little cushion in there.
Well, we're going to talk about it later, but
We'll
we're
give
talking
you-
about investing some of this money so we can.
We'll give you a
offset.
concept of that.
But yeah, he's gonna.
I'll address your question. Yeah,
Just for people's sake, this year we put away 65,000.
put away 65,000 on the road and we have basically 9,000 on the.
For the fire.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
It's on the next page.
I think the big thing that we got to, we were gonna do a 10-year plan. And immediately we realized you need a 25-year plan in this process for this equipment. Huh? Oh, there he goes.
Do you hear that noise?
Off the road.
Oh, did you?
Right.
Okay,
I mean, I get it.
okay. Now, if you'll skip, these things are kind of out of order. Skip to page
7.
No, not 7. It should be 5. Oh, yeah, here it is.
6.
Page 6. Okay. So we've established now that we need an escrow account of about 78,000 for the road and 96,000 for the fire department, right? So now we needed to understand, what does that mean to the taxpayers? So what does that mean to the base? That's what page 6 does. So there's a thing called a grand list. I didn't know what a grand list was. If y'all know what a grand list was, you're way ahead of me. But it's every single property in Elmore. There's 650 of them. Glenn encouraged me, it's a laborious process, to go through the entire thing and pull out anything that's useless or at least small. And there's things in there like a fence post. So there's 25 of those that are just like fence posts or signage or whatever. There's no value to them, right? So there's 650 minus 25 or 625 properties that pay taxes on a regular basis. If you take the total value of the plan, either you see the 1.6 million or the 1.3 million, which is the amount that is what's the
Appreciated.
no, not depreciated. It's where you have the homestead. We have a homestead.
Right.
The
Or not.
1.369 is with the homestead. If you take that and divide
Per 100. So it's
if you divide that by the total of the number of homes, the average home in average property, not home, average property in Elmore is $470,601 average. That's the value of an average property. There's obviously properties above that and there's properties below that. If you go down to the bottom part, then we come to, what does this cost if we have this amount of an escrow? So if I look down at the bottom of the page, we currently have, this is the 65,000 you see there for the road equipment, the 9,000 for the fire department. We know the total we need. There's the increase. If we do the math on that, then per 100, we need 0.005 pennies per 100 increase for the road department. And we need 0.03 for the fire department for a 0.03 per 100 tax increase to support, if this is correct, the escrow to support the capital. Now, what does that mean for an average person? That's why we came up with this average home. If you take this $470,000 home, what that would mean, 3.5 cents would mean $163 a year tax increase to support the requirement for an escrow to fund the road equipment and fund the fire department equipment. That's as simple as I can get it. Does that make sense? I'm not suggesting that it's right or wrong. I'm just suggesting that's the numbers required to do this. Does it make sense?
Right.
Okay. Then let me show you two things just because I'm proud of what we did. So I'll do it really quickly. We didn't take everything at face value. If you look at page 7, Shorty actually brought this up. He said, I think we should look at smaller dump trucks. We have 14-yard dump trucks. I think we should look at 7-yard trucks because we have 25 miles of road. So we did an analysis. The smaller dump truck, you can see about a third of the way down the page, it's a regular dump truck, 14-yard dump truck that we have is $275,000. A smaller dump truck is 200,000. So initial capital savings would be 75,000. However, if you look at the operational cost of that, by the time he runs back and forth carrying sand and gravel and all that, the operational expense of that was $656,000 more for a 10-year basis of the truck. So the net savings was negative. So we said, stay with 14-yard truck. Makes sense, right? Okay, the last one I'll cover before I go through the action items is if you look at page 8, of all the items we looked at, we said we should go look at contracting, uses with other towns. The big opportunity was the grader, because the grader is used mainly in the summer to grade the roads. It's a big piece of equipment. It's a 40-year piece of equipment. It's an expensive piece of equipment. So we got a offer on a contract. And it came in from Monash, if I remember correctly. And if you look at the top of page 8, it was $375 an hour loaded labor rate to grade our roads, operate as many as you want to, as long as you want to. It's $375 an hour. So what we did is we took the loaded labor rate of Michelle, we took the loaded labor rate of our equipment, we took the annual maintenance cost of our equipment, and we came up with an Elmore cost per hour of $121 compared to $375. So what's the decision you would make?
Right.
Grade our own roads, right?
Right.
So it's to the extent of a savings of $67,000 a year. So Michelle does a really good job with the cost containment on the grader. So that's basically the plan. We submit this to the select board. Select board can use this as input. We have 5 action items that we're going to give the select board, which I'm going to get back 4 of them anyway. So, but if you look at the bottom of the page, here they are. Number 1, as we said, the fire department, we need to set aside $96,000 in escrow on an annual basis. The fire department pays off truck engine number 2 in October of 2027, and the amount's $31,105. If we take that from the expense side of the ledger and put it on the capital side of the ledger, then we can reduce that tax requirement from 0.03 to 0.02. It goes from 161 to about 120. It wouldn't cost the town anything. It just simply moves it from expense to capital. And I think that's going to be probably.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't cost the taxpayers.
It doesn't cost the taxpayers. It doesn't cost the town, but it doesn't cost the taxpayers money to move it from A to B. So that's a recommendation. Number 2 is we've set this program up now where it can be reviewed on an annual basis. We're recommending that in July of each year, we review this plan, update this plan, and give a recommendation as to where we were right, where we were wrong, and give insight into what would happen with the escrow. I think that will be adopted.
And adjust the budget accordingly.
Adjust the budget accordingly. Number 3 is to explore an opportunity to invest these escrow funds. If you looked at those 2 pages of the 25 years, what you will see is we have years where we'll have anywhere between $500,000 and $700,000 that's sitting there. This isn't a plan where you get $1 and spend $1 a year. You get $1 and you spend $1 5 years from now or 7 years from now. So what could you do? We just took an example. We contacted Fidelity. This gets to the issue that we're talking about here. And you could take the money and put 3%, put them in treasury with a ladder bond that coincides to the capital plan. And they will help us administer that. They will not be the administrator of it. It'll have to be Sharon. Glenn and I are going to talk to Sharon next Tuesday.
That's the item I added to.
Okay. We're going to talk next Tuesday about that. But if you think about what's 3% of $1 million, that's $30,000. That's half a payment, right? So I think that one makes a lot of sense in the process. Number 4 is we've got about $2 million in fire department equipment. And so what we've talked to Adam about is to do a joint review between Wolcott, Morrisville, and Elmore into what we have in the way of facilities, what we have in the way of personnel, what we have in the way of response. I think it's got the embryo today in that the EMS has started the kind of the process.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna talk about that too.
But there's 10 fire trucks within 5 mile radius of,
Right.
of where we're at, right? And so is there something we can do in the process who don't know the answer? But what we should do is explore with the same rigor that we've explored this with, and Adam's supportive of that. I'm happy to be involved in it. And the final one is we looked at, we've got something called Old Blue. It's a truck that Michelle just loves, and I want to sell it and get rid of it. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at the annual expense of it this year and compare it to what a capital cost would be next year and make a decision next year on Old Blue.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dry it out your drying hands. Anyway,
You're killing me.
All right.
so that's our report. It's been an absolute pleasure working with this team. It's been great. It's been fun. I've learned a lot. I had no idea that we had this investment in capital. I had no idea that we had these components, and I had no idea what people did in this town. And now I know a lot more about it. So I'm proud of what we did, and I'm proud of our town.
Well, I think everybody needs to really thank.
Oh yeah, right.
You did a phenomenal job.
You did a great job,
Really great.
and
Really great.
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
On that, investment, are you gonna do an advisory?
Well, I'm gonna talk about that. I added it to the list. Okay, thank you. Very job well done.
Yeah.
And you, Rob.
All right,
Go right to his head.
is Megan on? She is on. Megan's gonna give us from LCPC. She's gonna give us just a quick update on the town plan. So, if you can, there's Megan, if you can let her on, is she on?
She's on. Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
I'm here.
Megan's feeling ill today, so she's not here in person, but we're happy
Yeah.
that she was able to join us anyhow.
Yeah, sorry about my groggy voice. You'll just have to bear
That's-
with me for a moment. So yeah, as Glenn mentioned, the idea is to hold the first select board public hearing on the draft town plan at the July meeting, which you have now confirmed will be July 15th.
Correct.
We do want to confirm, will that be the first thing on the agenda? So 6 o'clock? I mean, I guess that's what I would recommend.
I
So
can put you on first thing if that's what you want.
that
Not a
would be
problem.
fabulous. So we'll say, yeah, so 6 on July 15th would be the first public hearing on the draft plan with the select board. And the clean copy, which I will reference when warning the select board hearing, is on the Elmore municipal website. You'll see it does say clean copy at the beginning of it. And I'll probably have Nick take down the old version that is still there as you scroll further down. But the clean copy 2026 to 2034 plan is up there. It's the first one that you see as you go on the homepage of the Elmore Municipal website and scroll down. So just make sure you're looking at that one if you want to check it out again ahead of time. And I do just want to remind folks that, you know, the Elmore Planning Commission did have a public hearing as well in April, and they spent a whole month after that collecting public input, written input. And then they addressed that at the May 7th Elmore Planning Commission meeting. And so the clean copy that you'll see on your website does reflect the changes made per public comment during that time period. And I just wanted to emphasize that we really did take the time to look at the public comments received and incorporate changes into the draft plan. So yeah, and we can probably have, like I said, I can contact Nick to have him take the old version down that's further down your website, just
That would
just
be
so
good.
there's no confusion there. You know, I can see where that would create confusion. So I'll email him tomorrow about that. But yeah, check out the clean copy version, and I will help warn the select board hearing for July 15th at 6, if that works.
Okay, so you're gonna put out the warning for that,
Yep.
for the public hearing. Now, I think it came up earlier and you're probably listening, but if we get comments at the public hearing, they could still be incorporated? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yep,
Can we talk about the process so we know, understand?
Yeah, Warren has a question.
I'm just curious, so you're gonna have the first public hearing with the select board. Then there's a 30-day period before they vote on it. What is the process? So people know if they give comments, how do they get incorporated into the town plan? If they do.
Yep. Yeah, good question. So the process would be, the select board will hold their first public hearing on July 15th. And then, if there's comments that the select board wants to address, then basically we can make changes to the plan up until, you know, the point in which we can't make any more changes is 15 days prior to the final public hearing. So if there's
Okay.
suggested comments, then your select board here would have to have two public hearings. Because, we can't make any more changes after 15 days. You can tell I'm not with it. After, 15 days prior to your final hearing, that's when we can't make any more changes. So if you get comments, you're just looking at two public hearings essentially with the select board so that you can incorporate those changes, after the first public hearing. And then we would repost a new version of the plan, including those comments, on the town website. And then that version would have to be up there, like at least 15 days prior to your final hearing where the select board plans to adopt the plan itself.
Just to follow up, is there a deadline when this thing has to get approved, or does the select board have some leeway in the timeline?
Good question. Yep, and I did want to mention that. So just a reminder, your current town plan does expire on September 12th of this year. So I do encourage you to have an adopted plan before then, just because you do lose eligibility to things like municipal planning grants, community development block grants, those sort of things, and also benefits potentially around your village center designation. So, and I also want to emphasize that if there's bigger picture issues too that can't be addressed, when you're adopting it, coming up, more recently, you can do an amendment. You can do an amendment in the future as well. So just keep that in mind if there's some bigger picture issues that you feel just need more outreach around. You could still have the select board adopt the draft plan that you have now, and then you could decide to do an amendment in the future.
Okay, so the way it stands right now is we're gonna have the meeting on the 15th of July.
Right.
Let's assume that worst case scenario, we get a couple comments, so then we can address those. And can we have the second public meeting at our August meeting and approve it then, or assuming there's no comments in August?
Yeah, so the first public hearing, I'll have to warn 30 days out, which I can do. I would just warn it for you by the end of this week.
Right.
And then, and then say there's a couple of comments you decide how you want to address them. We make those changes. And then, like I said, we'd have to have that version you're going to adopt just up online and available 15 days prior to your August meeting. So I think the answer is yes. It's doable.
So 15 days, Megan, 15 days prior to the August meeting where we actually are going to adopt the plan.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Prior to your final public hearing and
Right.
when you're going to
The
adopt
final
the plan.
hurrah. Yeah. Okay.
We don't want to lose the opportunity for any grants. Or
Well,
certainly don't.
Use it for a year. I
I
just
don't know.
understand.
Well,
Megan, the question is, if we don't have it done by September 15th or 12th or whatever you said, do we lose the potential for grants for the year or just until we get this thing approved?
Until you approve the plan and then you get regional confirmation as well.
So there's another step
Yeah.
beyond approving the plan. There's like authorization, there's like finalization of it
All right, well,
after we approve it.
I think let's try to get it done.
Yeah, we need to get it
Try to
done,
get it done.
period. Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for Megan? Oh, Warren, one more.
Quick one. I'm sorry. So I read the plan and there's two references, recommendations about PUDs. PUDs. And when I read those chapters, PUDs are never defined. Can you define a PUD?
Yeah, planned unit development. I thought we had defined that in the land use chapter, but maybe it needs
I
to be
did not
defined
see
in
it today.
another place.
So you have it in housing and then you have it in land use. Both the recommendations, but in neither one of those chapters did I find a definition. I'm just
Okay.
curious. We don't need to talk about that tonight. I just had you on the speaker, so I wanted to ask the question.
That's
Thank
a
you.
simple enough fix, so thank you for that comment.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Warren. Thank you, Megan. And we're gonna continue here because we're getting a little bit on the late side. No other questions for Megan, right? Everybody's good?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We already talked about additional committee members. I forgot that I put it down below.
Right, here.
Lawn mowing contract, how did it go?
She goes.
What?
Oh, you guys have to vote on it?
Vote on what?
Oh, that different contract than the cemetery? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
You mean the bid?
Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
Same issue. I apologize.
Well, we did, we went into executive session last time
Right.
and Michelle kind of bring you up to speed.
Derek Richardson, fine young man, happens to be on the select board in the town of Hardwick. For a bid amount of $6,490.62. That is just mowing and trimming. That was not spring cleanup. That's not doing any landscaping. That's just mow and trim. So Derek was or I'll say DR Property Maintenance was our second choice of bids. Our first bid came in,
Isn't really low,
considerably lower.
really.
And
low.
then when it came time to sign the contract, he wanted to negotiate. Can't negotiate a bid once we're in the process like this.
And we kind of anticipated when we opened the bids and we met last month that he's not gonna be able to do it for the numbers. So
Right.
we had already discussed going to the second bidder and what we actually told Michelle is bring both top two bidders in, talk to them, make sure they're okay with their pricing.
Right.
The first guy backed out and the second guy is still lower than what we were paying on.
Yes. Yes.
So
But what we were paying did include spring cleanup, potentially some fall cleanup. So that brought his price higher, but this company is just doing mowing and trimming and they're doing a good job. It's a learning curve. I mean, we have some very steep property at the town garage. First day they were over there mowing, one of them ended up in the pond. They went to mow when it was raining like this. Grass was slippery so there's been some learning, growing pains. Yes. Yeah, it hasn't been mowed on a regular basis. They've been notified.
Right.
okay.
There's still some growing pains.
So bottom line is we have the second bidder is doing the work, seems to be working out.
Mhm.
And it's also just a 1-year contract.
Right.
When we do this again, I'm gonna sound very selfish. It's time consuming. Writing these bids,
Right.
chasing these people or having these people come over, do site visits. So it'll be for a longer term.
Talking maybe 3 years.
Right, instead of just a 1-year process.
So a price for this year, price for next year, price for the following.
Right.
So, yes.
So
Oh, Michelle, who's gonna do whatever spring and fall cleanup needs done? You and
Highway Department's been doing that, did that this year, so, sneak out for an hour with a power broom, it's it got done. It's just, I mean, it's still, I mean, the few $100 that we may have spent at the highway department is still minimal compared to what we were being charged before.
Mhm.
So, it's all working out and, you know, it's a process.
We had quite a few bids too. What do we have total?
Yeah, I think we had seven,
Six
you
or
know.
seven, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Seven, yeah.
so we had a lot of bids. They were all over the place, but
You know, it's, you know, and we had some, you know, try to enter it at 5:02 instead of 5 o'clock. You know, and there's people that try many things under a bid process, so.
but Michelle did a good job on the proposal and everything.
And I think we'll be I mean, I think we're gonna be happy with the finished product. It's looking definitely better than the first time they tried.
Okay.
The other day, they were blowing the grass off with stones after they weed whacked with the blower.
Okay.
Good work.
Well, it's in their contract.
Yeah, but work.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's,
Attention to detail.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along. Couple updates from Trevor. If you can update us on F&E, correct? F&E under active items.
Oh, F and E, okay.
F&E.
Yep, we have a workflow set up to take the recordings from Zoom and push it to YouTube mostly automatically now. Sends me a notice when a recording is posted and then I assign it to the right channel for the boards. So Planning Commission, Development Review Board, Select Board, and then there's other for ad hoc town meetings, other things. So we'll try that. We'll see how it goes tonight with our start-stop situation.
Gonna be a gap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and once it all looks like it's working, we'll post it on the website and direct people to it for the future. And then after that, we can look at starting to archive older meetings onto YouTube, so we don't lose them when we run out of space with Zoom.
Okay, should we keep this item active? Or
I know,
So it's in process though.
yeah, it's in.
we close it out?
Yeah, I think we can close it out unless something comes up.
Okay.
All right.
And the other one, I don't know that we'll be able to close out internally, but Nick was able to get the SharePoint site set up for us. I think he only has it enabled for me right now. I went in and made a very shallow directory structure for folders for the select board, like meeting agendas and minutes,
Mhm.
special projects, and governance, I think were the three folders.
Mhm.
So governance being like our conflict of interest
Sure, policy,
spreadsheet.
Right.
Will live in there.
right,
Meetings
procedure.
and agendas, straightforward. Special projects would be like bids for the ramp and stuff like that. I'll try to fill some stuff in and then turn it on for the three of us.
Okay.
So it'll go in automatically or how does it get in there?
How does what get in where?
Like the minutes, how would they get into that folder?
We would
It'd
have to come up with a plan for
Okay.
how to do that, and I can work with you on
Right.
doing that. But
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
we want to try to get this stuff in there, so
Right.
it's in there for good.
Right.
Like I got all my folders. I mean, we could probably just transfer them in there somehow. I don't know.
On your computer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it'll be ezy.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a binder
Well,
that'd be.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, I know it's beyond my pay grade.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll
Yeah,
just,
right.
I'll have Nick turn it on for the three of us and then
Okay.
I'll write up some
All right.
notes on how we want to move forward.
All right.
Right.
All right. So we'll keep that active and thank you for doing that because it needs to be done. All right. We're going to hit the road commissioner and the zoning real quick. Then we'll talk about a couple items and we'll call it a night here. Michelle.
All right, so we already talked about the lawn mowing. We already talked about the signs.
They're up
They're out.
and they're.
And you're lucky I didn't do it. I hired Lafayette, sign and guardrail company to do it.
Good.
One of the posts that were given to the municipality was too short. So they had one on their truck that was the right length. So we
The
just,
ones we bought?
yeah, one of them, yeah, the bottom has to be, right. So they had one on their truck, so we just did the nice swap.
Didn't have to stretch it.
Unbelievable.
So
This stuff.
it's up, yeah. I had a culvert on Simmons Mill Road fail on May 6th.
Mhm.
It's patched for now. We'll be doing repairs to it this summer. I haven't picked a date yet. Been cleaning up some intersections and turnarounds. Still got a few more to go. We've done quite a bit of grading, none this week, as we're out of chloride since June 4th. Hope to get on the mountain road and the camp road soon. The chloride situation, of course, when it's dry weather, we're all using a lot more of it. And we also now just have one provider in the state of Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and New York.
Oh,
So you pick a number where you are. So I think our long-term plan here at the garage is we're going to buy a second tank to store more chloride on hand so we can keep going in the spring of the year or early summer as it is now, just so we can get the roads up to par for summer. It's just being a number on somebody's list is very aggravating. And I won't tell you how much it costs, that has gone up about 25% in cost. That one's in, all right. The rain and hailstorm on May 31st, knocked out several large trees on Bliss Hill, Leahy Road. Water and Light, we timed it real good. They helped us clean it up and cut them out of there. So that went well. I did some resurfacing. We did some resurfacing work on Eagle Edge, Hosking Road, Greaves Hill, and a large portion of Gates Farm Road with new gravel. We hauled 66 loads to date, 924 yards. We're hauling sand this week, just because we can't grade. And by this afternoon, we had 978 yards in the shed.
We're going back and forth.
Yeah. So, I got Claude under equipment, and I guess I hit a typo, but so Claude is back helping us out on a part-time basis for the summer. Myself and Eddie attended an MRGP meeting, Municipal Roads General Permit. That's what that stands for. In Mooresville for an update on new rules and guidelines that are coming into effect. They talked about new ways to access and update our mapping of road work with the state of Vermont, and they're developing an app to be created to calculate discharge of water in watersheds to size culverts properly. That's not going to work very well with me because I don't carry a cell phone. But we're getting Eddie here trained real well. So he'll be able to push an app, stand where the culvert is, and it'll give us the reference of how much stormwater may be discharged from this particular area that's going to go through this culvert and make a recommendation of what size that should go in the ground.
What's wrong with that?
That's assuming you have cell phone coverage.
Any step.
Right. But that's
That's a whole different issue.
You're going over the drainage area with a planimeter or something so that you know what.
they've done it with I don't know if it's with drones, planes. They've calculated the drainage area. It's supposed to be a helpful tool, not supposed to be maybe rocket science, because after a certain anything over 3 feet, we need a straight hydraulics test. So they're the ones that go into the background, and so I mean,
Nancy had a question.
Yeah,
I just wondered if it was just a tool or if they were gonna stick by that.
no, presently it's a tool, but they don't want to give their hydraulic guys, they don't want to lay them off either. So, so we're doing that. Let's see, other stuff. Earl Grey Road. We're going to talk about this for years, folks. FEMA in the process is really slow. Don't believe it's going to get done this year. I know it's not going to get done this year. I was told yesterday that the Army Corps of Engineers permit is at least 3 months out, at best, due to workload demands. So it looks like I'll be applying for an extension so we can do the work maybe potentially next year. Because it pushes us into September. Being federal, it has to go through a bid process. It's winter. It's where, FEMA, the gentleman is out of Dallas and he thinks that, you can work year round. But it doesn't apply here. Just a little brief, schedule. I haven't broke anything down of what's going to happen, but we're trying to get all our roads graded up, get our sand in, or some of it in. But in July, our goal is to remove roadside berms. The King Road is #1 on the list right now, mountain road areas. And then when we get into August and September, it'll be culverts and ditches. Working on a grant, I mentioned it here when the beginning of the meeting. I'm hoping we get it's not finalized, but getting a grant and aid grant to do the Cataract Hill portion of Hardwood Flats. So it'll be redo the ditches, stone lining. There's starting to be a lot of erosion, change out the culverts, do some top dressing. So hopefully that'll be under a grant, and we've got some other grants that we're gonna do that are already approved. So, but I'll give you more details as we get closer. And then the start of the month, the highway department went around town to plow and sand 100 times even for the winter 25-26, and we used approximately 2,800 yards of sand.
What's the average?
The average is between 90 and 130.
Oh, so you're right in.
So we're right in our ball. So yeah.
The range.
So
Wow,
be it.
We're in the
We're the low
ballpark.
end of the curve.
Yeah, we're in the ballpark. It's amazing. It came out to an even 100.
Yeah. Well, we'll try harder next year.
No, we're not.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, we need the snow. Okay, Charlie.
I've submitted my zoning administrator report. Nothing really mind shattering happening this month, other than dealing with lots of property owners that come in looking for advice and help putting together permits and applications. Spend a lot of time doing that. Some of the applications that have been submitted, I can't process because they're not complete. So that holds up people's applications. Other than that, for next month, we only have one DRB hearing. So we've been slow on the DRB hearings. In terms of application fees, we're still ahead of last year. We have a few outstanding violations that I'm working with the owners on, and they're getting resolved, but always slowly. And that's about all I have to report. Oh, other than in my processing applications, I've been working with the state. Because the state now approves all the sewage applications. So that I've got a notebook now of all the properties all the way around the lake, and I've got an index of all the permits that apply to all the properties. About a third of them have town permits, about another third have state permits, and another third have no permits. So we have no information on.
So they're the ones who go back 100 years ago, or?
Yeah, so when those people come in for a permit of any kind, we have a look at it and kind of suggest that things be tightened up a little bit.
That's a good thing.
What happens if a home changes ownership and it doesn't have a permit? Does it have to be brought up to speed?
No.
Oh.
Grandfathered. They're grandfathered. What triggers an application would be enlarging a dwelling or any major changes to a dwelling. Plus, we want to make sure that they're in compliance.
Okay, thank you.
If it failed though, if the septic were to fail,
fails.
then it
has to go.
And that's
Right.
a story.
That makes sense. I just wanted to change the ownership. Sure.
Okay, just a couple of quick things that I added to the agenda here last minute. Kind of talked about this, but we're going to try to set up an investment committee that'll look into investing dollars so that we're not earning nothing. So we talked about last night. So we're going to have our initial meeting with Sharon, and then if anybody else wants to get involved and be a part of that, that's fine. Randy's volunteered to be the chair of that.
Oh, I didn't volunteer to be.
You just did. So we're going to meet, like I said, Sharon on Tuesday at 10 o'clock, I think it was, or
Something like whatever it was.
yeah, whatever it was. So we're going to just get together with her and talk about it, and then we'll expand upon it. But we have a lot of money that's sitting around,
Right.
maybe not earning enough money or anything.
Right.
The other thing is, this came up last night. I saw Adam. I asked him how things are going with the EMS committee that was set up. And basically it's going nowhere. There's been very little contact, very little information passed. So I sent an email over to Marsville today, asking them like, what's going on? Can we get a meeting going? And we don't want the same thing to happen this
Right.
year that happened last year.
Right.
I sent that out this morning. I still have not received
Right.
a response, but I'll stay on it. Adam's willing to get together with them, but so far I'd say there's been very little, if any, conversation since we agreed to their numbers last year, which is
funny, they don't want your comments.
that's right. And I mean, we're gonna be here sitting here, the same thing as
Right.
last year, and they're gonna
Right.
say, we want X number of dollars, otherwise we're gonna cut you off. And it's not good. So we're gonna stay on top of that. I'm gonna put that on the action list.
You sent it to Mr. Raymond, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I sent it this morning.
Okay,
and
right. I saw that.
yeah, hopefully I could chase him down.
Yeah.
They've not been very cooperative. So,
No, they're
we kind of joked about it last night, but getting them to participate in a joint venture for fire department is probably less than zero. So,
I have faith.
you have faith. That's good. Okay, so that's all I had. I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed on a couple items that are out there. There's no action really required on your part.
Just informational.
So unless anybody else has any comments, did I hear?
Got one.
The one.
Yes.
I feel compelled to make a comment. The traffic on Harbor Flats again, sorry to bring it back to that.
Okay.
The thing I wanted to mention out loud here is that I drive dump trucks down roads for a living all day, every day, and employ people that do that. And I don't have any kids waiting at a bus stop. I'm not worried about that, but I think the logging company representative and the joking about everybody getting out of the road when a heavy truck's coming down the road, I just want to say is a dangerous precedent to set and illegal in Vermont. Like there are
Yeah.
laws to protect vulnerable users of the road, and I want to be able to walk to my neighbor's house. Shorty rides his bike down the road and I don't need to jump into it.
I'd like to see that.
I see him out there.
Yeah,
but,
take a picture.
I just want to put it out there that
Yeah.
it's all good and fun to laugh about a heavy truck and everybody.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's laughing about it. I think we all take it pretty seriously. And, like I said, it's speeding is a problem everywhere, but those truck drivers, yeah, flying through here.
I'm talking about giving people on the road, other users that aren't heavy trucks.
Right.
That's me. I suffered every day on Randolph Road waiting for cyclists who are traveling in packs. I hate dealing.
Well, we're gonna make sure that they notify these truckers and tell them to watch it and express the concerns that we heard tonight.
Yes.
And, besides for that, I mean,
That's all we can do.
we have limited hours with the sheriff. And, getting up there is gonna be, I mean, we could barely get him out here.
Yeah.
So, in fact, we're signing his agreement
We have to sign
tonight,
his
but,
agreement, right.
we're very limited hours.
Yeah.
that we pick
20.
for.
Anybody going to the UFC fights?
No, I am not going.
Charlie's gone, he's invited.
Got rained out.
Okay,
Motion.
motion, one last thing and then we're gonna call it quits.
The boulders that we're talking about across the road that I talked with you.
Yeah, Michelle, you know who moved that boulder?
No idea.
Magic.
It must have taken a big equipment to.
Somebody moved the
Well,
boulder.
but the question is, the three that are on this end can be pushed back a little bit further so that you can put more cars in there perpendicular to the road rather than parallel parked. I mean.
You better check that with the people that,
Those are big.
People that don't
Move around.
yeah, they'll be protesting us again.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
What time
Thank
do we
you, man.
adjourn?
7:57.
7:57.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I can make Tuesday, but when you guys.
Yeah, we're not really,
My special
we're just
thing.
gonna
We gotta
start.
get town money.
Yeah, we've got. some-
Not just.
Yeah, well, we
We gotta get her to do cash flow.